Do you like the Oakland A's? Are you a fan of the Golden Knights? Do you love the Los Angeles Chargers? Well then, my friend, you're in the right place. This is the Snake Sports Talk Show with your host, Jake the Snake Silva, brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network.
So, of course, a lot of things that were happening all around in the in the NFL. So earlier, Chiefs assistant Britt Reed ended up getting charged with a felony DWI. So, of course, Britt Reed, for those who have remembered about the DWI charge that happened up in Jackson County, Missouri. This was the involvement in the car crash earlier this year that involved a 5-year-old girl in a critical injury. So right now, not a good situation for him, as he's been charged with that of an intoxication. But this is a big hit. This is a really, really big hit. So from what we were told from Jackson County is he operated a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol and acted with criminal negligence by driving at an excessive rate of speed. So Andy Reid, the head coach, and of course the father of Britt Reed, surrendered to Kansas City police Monday afternoon and was released after posting a $100,000 bail. And as part of his bail releases, Reed was ordered to not consume alcohol or visit any establishment where alcohol is the primary item sold. And on top of it, he also must report to a dependency services clinic for pretrial supervision and is subject to a random drug testing and must use alcohol and GPS monitoring devices. So, of course, the crash was initially in February 4th. And this is kind of a hit right there in Andy Reid, and in his family, because of the fact of, this happening, which we're hoping, for the 5-year-old, that things are good. But yeah, it's not a fun thing. It's absolutely not a fun thing. I have come across so many stories about this, and it's sickening. So, of course, the star wide receiver Julian Edelman of the New England Patriots had announced earlier at 34 years old, and after spending 12 years in the NFL, all with New England, has decided to have his utmost release and is also retiring from the league. So, after being named the MVP in Super Bowl 53 a while back, Julian Edelman is calling it quits. He's putting up his cleats, and he's calling it a career. So a little bit of, just a flash forward with 3-time Super Bowl champion with New England. This is what some of his words that he had said from the end of it. It was a hard decision, but the right decision for me and my family. I am honored and so proud to be retiring a Patriot. It's been the best 12 years of my life. Edelman was limited to 6 games last season because of a chronic knee injury. But he ranks second in the NFL with 118 postseason receptions, only behind Jerry Rice's 151. Edelman was one of those guys. I mean, the miraculous catch in Super Bowl 51. It was really interesting. Just kind of the whole situation. But you think about it, Julian Edelman's been a part of this development for the New England Patriots for years. Ends his career where it started. And also on top of it, great relationships with Tom Brady. But of course, everybody has a lot of great relationships, but not like this, where you developed in this organization, found a way to really make it work, and that's how New England was able to do it. That's the culture. That's just how they are. And for Julian Edelman, I wish for the absolute best of retirement. What a great career, 3-time Super Bowl champ. I hope the absolute best for him and his family, and great retirement. So of course, this was one of the crucial things that have made a lot of noise in sports and, of course, from around the nation. But in Minnesota, the Twins, the Timberwolves, and the Wild, all of them have postponed their games in the wake of the police shooting of Daunte Wright. So here from Monday following the police shooting of Daunte Wright Sunday night, 20-year-old who had died Sunday after a police shot him in Minneapolis, suburb of Brooklyn Center during a traffic stop. The Brooklyn City Police Chief said the shooting was accidental, as the officer involved intended to fire a stun gun and not a handgun during a struggle with Wright. Police were trying to arrest him on an outstanding warrant. And right now, this is just getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand with it. And a lot of people, there were a lot of civil unrests. There were a lot of retaliations, I'm sure. But all of this has got to get adjusted. The city of Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota. I mean, it's horrifying to watch, but it's also something that they really need to make the adjustments and make serious changes, and hopefully changes for the better. And I mean, again, this is outrageous, but I'm hoping that, everything does get resolved. But of course, from a lot of these different movements and from a lot of these different changes, the world itself will not be the same. I mean, we're just seeing that beyond our very eyes, and we see this here in media and everywhere. But the world itself will not be the same. And it's unfortunate, but the world changes. The world changes almost every single day. And it's just crazy. But I'm hoping that we find a silver lining in the end of it. Finally, on the hot press, Detroit Tigers manager A.J. Hinch reflects on highs and lows of the Astros' tenure in his return to Houston. So the Tigers manager is back in Houston for the first time since he was dismissed by the Astros in the aftermath of the sign-stealing scandal that rocked baseball. These were some of the words from A.J. Hinch. I do have to focus on the good things that happened here. I have a lot of fond memories, incredible interactions with fans and throughout the organization. Some really great times and ultimately a really low time. I kind of embrace all parts of that in my journey through this. I think it will be emotional for me. I wish I had a great quote for the words or the right thing to say about what I'm feeling. I know Jose described it as weird, and it's different coming to the visiting side as the ex-manager is a lot different. I think emotions will kind of be on a full tilt tonight. So, as I've said before, A.J. Hinch was really just the manager who expressed it. He expressed a lot of just what had happened during that time. And I've said this before, that the Tigers are in a position where they're going to rebuild, and they're going to rebuild for the better with all these youngsters and with A.J. Hinch. Now, of course, it's interesting to see how this will really react. But I think ultimately, when you look at it from the other side, again, A.J. Hinch was just doing his absolute best to try to do his job. Came out clean. There was a documentary. If you guys look at it, definitely check it out. There's a whole interview with Tom Verducci, one of the best writers in baseball, and he came clean about it. Who knows for the Astros? But this was kind of a moment of redemption for A.J. Hinch. And I think at this point, it's a great opportunity. I'm kind of excited for it and hoping that, this roads will tie back into some great memories and at the same time, really redeem himself in his career. Well, guys, that was the Hot Press.